Against corruption. Senior, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Minya.
Na bibia boko ewo okampo de.
Nyame adom ne mo mpaibo. Me gidi say mo nso mo ye.
We can't complain.
It is well. It is well. And you're very good in so say we making this announcement because now my ear bit worried. Now me follow 90.5.
Yeah.
As I always do in the afternoon.
And
All of a sudden I took away. Now I even thought say me the radio now it has a problem. Into you good so we make it that announcement.
Because of Facebook no TV no. And if online it you can still go ahead and have this interview done.
Fantastic.
Enra President Mahama asofo no bi ko hia no. Omo what didn't come out ahemfo no bi susu ko honum what didn't come, but the fight against corruption was say opeso de mechanism bi ba ye de sanche we gu no mo a ebe den sesebi ono kra ni honum na ne sasesaba ebe teki akonwa no a ebe den se ye be reverse ni ma bi back yenhwe court ayetie na ye de fast track corruption cases. Your take on it?
In fact, court are yet, very, very laudable. And my main congratulating the NDC government led by John Mahama, His Excellency, for committing to this promise. So, even before the general elections, now one of the promises are NDC Kati, in fulfillment of it, one of the best things. One thing over the past years, frustrated the fight against corruption, the delay process in court. In your case, near the court, you be delays at the end of the day, Crown and court no be bua assembly. Not the impact of it, a co-waste. A typical example, even though I know doesn't bother on corruption, but a typical example, I about meetings is here. Dom level case a bit to come a judge, and a judgment in a buy, na case na kasabe mute data, na ekim. It is a decided to build tribunals, any other special court. Ebema corruption cases, ya fast track here, very, very, very laudable. So it is a step in the right direction.
I see. Enkonko ye ade bi say de bia ye mamanfo ho enkoto da bi no na afi ye jemu ebio yenim say new CG aba no bi ka say ebia anema no court no dodo na ho ne free case ba ko a ebia betimi de 3 months 1 year 6 months adie obehunu ya tena ba efie nwotwe na ye hu judgment new CG aba womunyina eboa ama corruption fight no yetu ase afotu obe na adema news ye
the message news CG say well about corruption cases are very special cases. Unfortunately over the past years you generalize the corruption cases as though just like any other criminal case. Yes, there were criminal cases, corruption case in a criminal case, but special strong because no who identify the elements involved now. Most often, kakra. It is also the actus rea and the mens rea. In other words, the action and the intention. Say, say me disika ema wosesia, anami de ma sebiga, anami de mobia. Ube who says the Canadian medema, Obegin say a bribe. Banko Court is so established, say, but Kaya ne wumi team, I know to me this as a canema, I constitute corruption. So obey these two things, it becomes difficult. And until say me too, Attorney General, Mr. Attorney General, you can say, Chief Justice, me too, Chief Justice for her. The American Chief Justice, me say, this specialized courts are my fa any judge bia enko hokeke. Yen fa judges said you be more some extra training to me identify corruption components. Judges are almost some high level of integrity. And it becomes even difficult for them to be influenced in any way. See, to me, a bit to me abwa because court maybe just structure no nipa nebe mane court no. nipa be mani court no omni from judges no. If we take a corrupt judge, some come mani corruption court, an anti-corruption court, and ya there any returns from it. In the advice I made the Chief Justice AEC Genesis, Omwa ye be post to Omo to go to this special court, no. And now Omwa ye be more cases a border on corruption. It shouldn't just be any judge be akeke, but a special judges ya training kakra in terms of fighting corruption. Special judges was some level of integrity. They will not be influenced.
I see. Now, CJ Craig can be said, gone are the days are now, yes, politicians to me influence some cases at the court, but never ba. Sunday morning, it's over. You bet me ye free one because some cases, about corruption now, politically inclined. Now, so see regime change, now regime for fraba. Oh, and yeah, we yank out not the call peace court. We not the call one way. Sanya mano. You better deal with that, you know.
What you have about Caribbean and no friend of the practical and the reality. Yempo, the way you polarize your system in this country, it becomes very difficult. You being truly independent institutions. As soon as CJK, under normal circumstances, I think that is the right thing to be done.
Yes.
Your kind and come from to be in home. But it's one thing to say and another thing to do. As just like you are saying, the reality will hit him. So it becomes difficult for people who are only
okay. Okay, so I think we've lost your resource personality. You have establish a contact in the back. Yeah,
before I became president, had indicated that we're going to take the fight against corruption to a whole new level. And it's not anything personal against anybody. I have said several times that our problem in the fight against corruption is that it is always post-regime corruption that we fight. And so when a government is in office, when scandals are taking place, they don't deal with them. And so they leave it until a new government comes. And when that government comes and starts investigating the cases of corruption, then the previous government says, oh, you are witch hunting us. This is political persecution. But I've said notice to my ministers, ask them every day in cabinet, I remind them. I say the prosecutions that we're taking against the current government will be tied the first person who brings a scandal to this government. We shall hang them on a cross.
Akra babium line it go.
Line it go. So then America no.
Yeah.
The Chief Justice Kaya Nidia in Kane no, but it's one thing to have intention and another thing to so being an environment to implement it. When you're the first time I had to say Chief Justice be and opinion be akabi be say. So say you be to me a decentralized power. It becomes difficult. Positions are Ghana na almost na the president of any given day in this country and are appointed. So say there's a regime change, different change in government for Beba. Not our government, neighbor, no, they're okay because they're happy with the previous government, and you're not buying, he will find a way of now prosecuting those people. In the cycle, no, go on and go on and go on and go on. I wish the CJ well. If what he's saying, he really wants to do it, the reality is a bed in Kakraman, but it will not be impossible. I wish him well, and I believe says or Panipadia obey to me to some extent.
President Omaka Sembinra, back to the president. Or say Adebaku Adienya for years as a country. They say Sene Ken, you pass it on the fight against corruption, the next regime or beba. eti yebetmenya se NDC tisui obetmenya NDC appointee na sabi oye niema nsem fata na ban no hwehwe no na MPP aba MPP ba na woko afi no kwakọ fight the previous government appointees no na obi akwa mantwa bi say we no political persecution. Now also a catch an appointees in the say wo betides you wa wonni mu a obekwa kote e de abane de ene ye robo cross mu sasema papa yakan who ni say
Well, but you may know the sound commander. My chair would say, you fight corruption. Two approaches. They carry the reactive approach, and they thought to be the proactive approach. Over the past years, the Ghana say you use the reactive approach. You came at the NCV. It's and Sana, you be decided to say you're fighting. And only a year over the past years. Now, me know you be just to say, we hear the same thing over and over. There's no way you should expect a new result. And that is why consistently, particularly in this recent time, Makasi, CFSA fighting ye padia, you use the proactive approach. And on the chair Uber put in place the measures. Measures are ebema corruption it will be prevented to its barest minimum. Metie di omanpenyin kaye, president kaye. O kan say the wa kaye, o sambo aye na yeti. Obe yusu ne appointees bia ye be find them culpable no. Obe yusu omo and obe crucify them. When the first time. You remember the first administration of His Excellency John Mahama. So you saw one of the appointees, Abu Gapili.
Yeah.
Question is, you saw no corruption or a jaya and enjai. Corruption is still going on.
Yeah.
Secondly, see the Osanka say, and yeah, the Obama corruption, I had to say, post into the next government bar and son of Babe taking care of those things. Normally, the reason why in here corruption is exposed after a change of government. Because you are able to cover up into the opposition. The information obenyano very limited. To say Obeba Abemu to come and get the realities is difficult. Those are the two main things. Once the president said Obeyusune appointees as scapegoats. That is more of the reactive approach. Makan was say it is not the best for us. No. Nanka Mishini Tenka President Bekase or in fighting corruption or put in place internal structures that prevent the appointees from even engaging in corruption. And now or put in place internal structures, the internal structures Nankasa will even expose the appointees. But even with all of this, one other thing that you say, you kind of say, corruption, normally, it is not largely by now with the political appointees. So we have technocrats. You were system named data. Most of these corrupt practices are taking place in Naana. And these technocrats, they are aware of it. Listen to this buffer stock atema ebetu ojana nsia. You say the former CEO a transfer money ni ade no. Maybe some simple questions. CEO, Oko buffer stock your internal auditor, your accountant, your finance officer. We have all these internal structures. Mean yes sure say CEO no or no adini to me ebe bo area account office akwakoye transfer. Or the best fan for so honorable. So if he's able to do that easily, it means that internally structures me very weak. Into what the mission himself president Beye I know Becca I be my answer I say we are doing something different. And he say now dream called the fact that it is you put in place the internal structures. Yes, strengthen structures now. Say any appointee. Say only Paconia technocrat. So only Paconia the next appointee and now whatever it is now. Structures Nankata will check the person. May say no can say or put or be idea way so that the next government will not be able to erode the gains Ghana making.
Yes.
But it takes just 1 hour Sebi, yenya president in the near future who has the posture of you can say the we can say Ekufuado.
Yeah.
We decide on their own TFA or no the onoabe the opesoya. No matter the gains are we making, obet me saying but idea a bit to me I check the next president who cry the position and the poster of Ekufuado. And it say you be put structures you not the kind of Ekufuado crano be the idea structures no be checking.
I see.
So that is what we need. So yeah, for the president to say so, be using appointees as scapegoats, and you're more like the same old things I hear over and over. No, we will not get any significant result out of it.
But I said, medium po machina so no wa twam a ye pe odwane na mechi wa mayo den. Ebia bibisa no person justify.
Mpacho kabiem.
Say ono de mpo no wo de asotwe ma no. Na wa na onyo de mu a wadi bone a wadwane akote wo ba
very, very good for the because when you say corruption and so largely it runs on perception.
Yes.
It's a very good perception to give. Fantastic. And that's why I'm saying, me commending for that. When it comes to perception, it creates some fear into appointees and everyone. But point here, President John Mahama staying in office in perpetuity. 4 years. Actually, so 3 years. 1 year. 3 years, he will be off. Se oko na yenya obi foforo. No nipa kuni nkita John Mahama suni ne ban. No nipa kuni kra the poster of Ekufuado. The MHN say this gains ni na perception ni na will to go off. And nunti anameka say ampa pa say opese obwa no making sure say gains will be making no. The next president will not come and throw the gains away. The say structures and it is put in place. The first structure watching a year constitution. To me, and centralize the power and case or fight corruption. So, centralize the power, say the constitution it is a say. Now, powers is vested in the president. Now, a BM unyo be to say Ekufuado obey power dranker because okita power and obey abuse power no. See the no. Yes, John Mahama may not want to abuse it, but we shouldn't leave the fight against corruption to the discretion of any president of the day. It should be subjected to laws. It should be subjected to structures and systems. And no namishe means John Mahama ebe building. You build the structures now. The structures itself no will keep the perception.
I see. Zina yamfasi ya ebre nti that's bebre. Okay. Emmanuel Wilson Jr., Chief Crusaders Against Corruption. And I'm a team so okay, so education.